It sounds so ridiculous, and people go, what? The Ark of the Covenant's real? But then when you go into the history of these people that live there, and they all suffered radiation poisoning.
Here, as God's last message is being given to the inhabitants of the earth, there are real angels.
For centuries, the Ark of the Covenant has been shrouded in mystery, its location unknown, its power legendary. But now, for the first time in history, scientists have used advanced AI scanning to peer deep beneath Jerusalem's ancient stone. What they found made even the most skeptical researchers turn pale. Something massive, something unnatural seems to be buried below, and it may finally rewrite everything we thought we knew about faith, history, and the divine, the Ark mystery, and the new age of scanning. For thousands of years, the Ark of the Covenant has stood as one of humanity's greatest mysteries. Described in the Torah and the Old Testament, it was a gold-covered chest that carried the Ten Commandments written by the hand of God Himself. On top of this sacred chest was the mercy seat, guarded by two golden cherubim facing each other. It was believed that this was where God's presence rested when He communicated with His people. For the Israelites, it was not just an artifact, but the very throne of God on earth, a divine symbol of power, judgment, and mercy. The Ark played a central role in ancient Israel's worship. Every year, on the Day of Atonement, the high priest would enter the most holy place with the blood of a sacrifice, sprinkling it on the mercy seat to atone for the sins of the people. To touch the Ark or even look upon it without permission meant death. It was sacred beyond measure, a direct connection between heaven and earth. It led the Israelites through the wilderness, split the waters of the Jordan, and brought victory in battles. Yet, as powerful as it was, the Ark eventually vanished. The last biblical mention of the Ark came during the reign of King Josiah, just before the Babylonian conquest of Jerusalem. After that, it disappeared completely. Some believe it was hidden beneath the Temple Mount by priests who knew the city was about to fall. Others claim it was carried away to Ethiopia or buried in a secret chamber in Egypt or even Ireland. Over the centuries, the Ark became both a religious mystery and a historical puzzle, feared for its rumored power to strike down anyone who touched it and revered for the divine presence it once carried. For generations, explorers, historians, and theologians have searched for it, but none have produced undeniable proof. The question remains, is it just a legend, or is it still out there, buried deep beneath layers of ancient stone, waiting to be found? Now, in the 21st century, a new kind of seeker has joined the quest. Instead of digging with shovels and picks, scientists are using advanced technology to scan the Earth itself. Artificial intelligence, satellite mapping, and muon imaging have become the modern tools of exploration. Muon imaging, in particular, has given archaeologists the ability to see through solid rock by tracking cosmic particles that constantly pass through the Earth. Recently, a team of researchers used this method beneath Jerusalem's City of David and detected strange voids hidden below. These could be natural formations, or perhaps long-forgotten chambers once sealed to protect something holy. Although no one can yet say for sure what lies within those shadows, this discovery has reignited global fascination with the Ark's possible resting place. It suggests that after thousands of years, science may finally be catching up to legend. The Ark's mystery is no longer just a matter of faith. It is becoming a challenge of technology. How far can AI go in rewriting what we think we know about the Ark? Let's see how digital fingerprints in scripture and remote viewing claims collide, raising chilling questions about what scanning truly means. Digital fingerprints and AI scans the Bible itself. For centuries, explorers have searched the earth for traces of the Ark of the Covenant, digging beneath Jerusalem's hills, mapping hidden tunnels, and following ancient legends. In the 19th century, a wave of discoveries deepened this obsession. Missionary James Barclay stumbled upon vast underground caves beneath Jerusalem, tunnels that stretched for entire city blocks. Soon after, British engineer Charles Warren conducted daring excavations under the Temple Mount, uncovering mysterious shafts and passageways that hinted at a massive subterranean network. And then came a stunning find. A French archaeologist, Charles Clermont-Ganneau, discovered a carved cherub within one of these caverns, a sacred image used in biblical times to guard holy spaces. The discoveries captured the imagination of another explorer, General Charles Gordon, who arrived in Jerusalem in 1882. Studying the city's geography and comparing it to ancient descriptions, he identified a hill north of the city, Skull Hill or Golgotha, as the true site of the crucifixion. Beneath it, he found a cave that he believed was none other than Jeremiah's cave, where the prophet once wept for Jerusalem. Gordon wrote in a private letter that shocked his contemporaries, "The Ark of the Covenant is there." Though he died before explaining how he reached this conclusion, his mysterious words inspired generations of archaeologists to search that very hill for the lost Ark. But now, in the modern age, a different kind of search is underway. Instead of scanning the soil, scientists are scanning the scriptures. Artificial intelligence has become a new kind of archaeologist, one that digs through language rather than stone. Using advanced algorithms, researchers have fed the ancient Hebrew texts of the Bible into AI models that can detect writing styles, patterns, and word choices invisible to the human eye. A recent study shocked biblical scholars when it revealed that the first 5 books of the Old Testament, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, contain 3 distinct linguistic voices. This means that different authors, or at least different scribes, contributed to what tradition says was written solely by Moses. The AI recognized subtle differences in word choice, rhythm, and structure, uncovering what it called digital fingerprints within the sacred text. These findings have stirred intense debate. Could it mean that descriptions of the Ark, its dimensions, its movements, even its fate, were edited or added over centuries? Some theologians believe the Ark's story may have been expanded by later writers to emphasize certain moral or spiritual lessons. Others see the hand of divine providence guiding each stage of the text's evolution. Either way, the discovery forces humanity to rethink how the story of the Ark was told and preserved. If AI can peel back layers of the Bible itself, revealing how each generation shaped the sacred narrative, what might it uncover next? Could there be patterns, symbols, or codes within the text that point to the Ark's final resting place? For the first time in history, technology isn't just helping to find the Ark beneath the earth. It is rewriting what we know about its story in heaven's own book. Remote viewing, psychic scans, and the CIA's Ark files. While scientists today rely on machines, scanners, and satellites to search for the Ark of the Covenant, there was a time when the hunt took a much stranger turn. In the late 20th century, the search for the Ark entered the world of intelligence agencies, psychics, and secret experiments. It was an era when the unseen became a tool of exploration, and even the world's most powerful spy organization wanted answers. In 1988, deep inside the CIA's archives, a file was opened under a curious code name. The project was part of a classified initiative known as Project Sunstreak, later called Stargate. Its purpose was to test whether the human mind could see across time and space, perceiving hidden locations or objects through what they called remote viewing. This method was believed to allow trained individuals to visualize distant targets by focusing their consciousness alone. One of these remote viewers, identified only as viewer number 32, claimed to see something astonishing. According to declassified documents, he described an underground chamber somewhere in the Middle East. Inside it was a container made of wood and gold, decorated with silver and winged figures resembling seraphim. The viewer said the object radiated immense energy and that entities seemed to guard it. He warned that if anyone attempted to open the container without proper authorization, a destructive force would be unleashed. Many who read the report believed the viewer was describing the lost Ark of the Covenant. This account, reported years later by media outlets, revealed that the CIA had shown interest in religious and supernatural artifacts. Their experiments were part of a wider effort to use psychic ability as an intelligence tool during the Cold War. The CIA wanted to see if remote viewing could locate hidden missile sites, secret bases, or lost treasures. And while most of the results were vague or unverifiable, the very existence of an Ark of the Covenant session fascinated historians and believers alike. According to reports, the remote viewer's vision described light surrounding the artifact and a sense of overwhelming holiness. He claimed that the object was sealed deep underground, perhaps under ancient ruins, and watched over by spiritual beings. The description echoed biblical imagery of angels guarding God's throne. But when the CIA's scientific advisors reviewed the findings, they dismissed them as imaginative and unreliable. Eventually, the Stargate project was shut down, and remote viewing was officially labeled a failure. Still, the revelation that America's top intelligence agency once looked for the Ark using psychic means sparked new debate. Could there be truth in what the remote viewer saw? Or was it a coincidence shaped by the power of belief? Some researchers argue that while remote viewing cannot be measured scientifically, it sometimes produces insights that later match archaeological discoveries. Others believe the CIA's interest proves that the Ark's legend continues to hold a mysterious power even in the modern age. Then came another man who claimed to have found something extraordinary under Jerusalem. Let's revisit Ron Wyatt's excavation claims in light of modern scanning and ask, could both science and faith finally be pointing to the same place? Ron Wyatt's excavation claims reassessed with modern tech. In 1982, an explorer named Ron Wyatt reported that he had broken through a tunnel beneath a cliff north of the city and discovered a hidden chamber filled with ancient objects. Wyatt was not a trained archaeologist, but a nurse anesthetist from Tennessee who believed God had called him to prove the Bible's truth through discovery. His journey led him to Jerusalem, to a rocky hill just north of the city's ancient walls known as Skull Hill, or Golgotha, the place many believe was the site of Jesus' crucifixion. What began as a simple excavation would soon turn into one of the most controversial claims in biblical history. With his two sons by his side, Wyatt began digging into the face of the cliff near Skull Hill. They uncovered niches carved into the rock, which he believed had once held signs displaying the crimes of those crucified. Further digging revealed rope holes and cross holes, square sockets cut into solid bedrock where wooden crosses could have been erected. One of these holes had a deep crack running through it, a feature that immediately reminded Wyatt of the biblical description of the earthquake that occurred when Christ died. He became convinced that he had located the true crucifixion site, not the one later marked by the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. As they dug deeper, Wyatt and his team discovered Roman-era pottery and coins dating back to around 135 AD. These findings hinted that early Christians may have gathered and worshipped at this location, long before later churches were built. If true, this meant that Skull Hill could indeed be the original site of both the crucifixion and possibly the burial of the Ark. The evidence, while circumstantial, aligned with ancient geography and early Christian tradition more closely than the accepted sites of later centuries. Then came Wyatt's most shocking claim. According to his account, he broke through into a hidden chamber beneath the hill and discovered several ancient objects, a gold veneered table, fragments of animal skins, and scrolls written on what appeared to be old parchment. At the center of the chamber stood a stone box. Above it, a crack in the ceiling seemed to line up perfectly with the cross hole he had uncovered above. Inside that crack was a dark, hardened substance that had dripped down into the stone box. Wyatt said that when he examined it, he realized it was dried blood. Blood he believed had fallen from the crucifixion site above directly onto the mercy seat of the Ark of the Covenant. He claimed that later visits to the chamber revealed even more astonishing events. Wyatt said that 4 angels appeared to him, lifted the mercy seat, and allowed him to look upon and even film the 10 Commandment tablets inside the Ark. He said the angels told him that the Ark would one day be revealed to the world when the time appointed by God arrived. Most scholars and archaeologists have dismissed Wyatt's story, citing a lack of verifiable evidence, documentation, or third-party confirmation. Yet, modern technology has opened new ways to test his claims. With muon imaging, ground-penetrating radar, and AI data mapping, researchers can now compare the coordinates of Wyatt's excavation site with modern scans. If a hidden chamber truly exists where he claimed, it should appear as a density anomaly beneath Skull Hill. It may take years of scanning and study, but for the first time since Wyatt's discovery, his claims can be examined scientifically. Whether they prove or disprove his story, the technology offers the chance to separate faith from fact, or perhaps reveal that the two were never as far apart as we thought. Hidden chambers beneath Jerusalem. The newest frontier of archaeology no longer relies on physical digging, but on invisible messengers from space. Scientists are now using muon imaging, a technique that tracks cosmic ray particles that naturally rain down from the atmosphere. These particles, known as muons, can pass through solid rock, revealing density differences hidden deep underground. By measuring how many muons pass through different parts of the Earth, researchers can detect empty spaces, possible chambers or tunnels, without having to dig. Recently, a groundbreaking muon imaging experiment took place beneath Jerusalem's City of David, one of the oldest and most sacred parts of the city. The study revealed strange voids and density anomalies beneath the ancient water systems known as Jeremiah's cistern. The data showed angular cavities and hollow zones that do not match any known structures, leading scientists to believe that there may be undiscovered chambers waiting to be explored. While no one has confirmed that any of these spaces contain the Ark, this technology has opened an extraordinary non-invasive window into the city's most mysterious depths. Archaeologists and historians are now collaborating with artificial intelligence experts to take this exploration even further. AI is being trained to compare the muon data with old maps, temple layouts, and historical records. By feeding this information into powerful learning models, scientists hope to identify the most probable hiding places for the Ark. This blend of faith and technology could finally solve one of the greatest mysteries in religious history: blood, biomarkers, and digital truths. Apart from hidden chambers, Wyatt said that the laboratory confirmed the dried blood on Ark was human blood, but with an impossible genetic profile. Under a microscope, the scientists allegedly found only 24 chromosomes instead of the usual 46. There were 23 from a mother and a single Y chromosome, which could only come from a father. But in this case, there was no human father. Wyatt declared that the blood was still alive, meaning the cells were active when reconstituted in a saline solution. To him, this was proof that the blood belonged to Jesus Christ himself, the divine Son whose blood had fallen onto the Ark's mercy seat at the moment of his death. No independent laboratory has ever verified these results, and mainstream science does not recognize them as credible evidence. The sample itself has never been made publicly available for retesting, and no documented data supports the claim of living ancient cells. Yet the idea continues to fascinate both believers and scientists, not because of its proof, but because of its possibilities. What if modern technology could one day examine such a sample under the strictest scientific standards? Today's forensic and molecular tools are far beyond what was available in Wyatt's time. Scientists now use mass spectrometry to identify trace elements and proteomic sequencing to reconstruct DNA fragments from materials thousands of years old. Even if most of a genetic code has decayed, artificial intelligence can help rebuild it by filling in missing patterns using known genetic data. AI-guided systems can compare ancient DNA to thousands of modern human lineages stored in global databases. They can identify mutations, origins, and even maternal ancestry through mitochondrial DNA. If a legitimate sample of blood were ever found in a sealed Ark chamber, AI-assisted analysis could theoretically detect its biological age, geographic origin, and any anomalies in its chromosomes. This would not only be a scientific breakthrough, but a moment that could shake every corner of theology. A single cell, if proven authentic, could become the bridge between faith and science, a physical link between humanity and the divine. Such an event would redefine what we know about miracles, faith, and history. It would challenge scientists to confront something that cannot be replicated or explained. And for believers, it would serve as a confirmation of what was always accepted by faith alone, that the blood of Christ truly sealed the covenant between heaven and earth. Whether or not Wyatt's story holds any truth, the question remains powerful. In an era where I can detect the smallest trace of life, perhaps one day technology will give us an answer that neither faith nor science can deny. Blood on the Ark is one thing, but what about the Ten Commandments stones themselves? Let's explore the final revelation and the prophetic curtain that ties all these mysteries together: prophecy, revelation, and the AI Ark epic. The Ark of the Covenant has always stood as more than a relic. It represents the covenant between God and humanity, a promise carved into stone, written by the divine hand itself. Inside the ark rested the 10 Commandments, the Book of the Law, and according to Ron Wyatt's account, they were still there, perfectly preserved. He claimed that when the angels guarding the ark lifted its golden lid, he was allowed to see the tablets, and they were identical to those described in Exodus chapter 20. For him, this was more than archaeology. It was prophecy coming to life. Wyatt believed that the ark's discovery was not meant to happen by chance. He said that it would only be revealed when the world reached a prophetic crossroads, a time when humanity would once again face the choice between loyalty to divine law and obedience to man-made decrees. He tied this revelation to what the book of Revelation describes as the final test of faith, the rise of the mark of the beast. In his interpretation, the ark would emerge at a time when laws enforcing false worship would challenge God's commandments. Its reappearance would serve as both proof of God's authority and a warning to the world. As strange as it sounds, the modern world seems closer than ever to the kind of control and deception that ancient prophecy warned about. Artificial intelligence now reads, writes, and even speaks with human-like fluency. It can mimic reality so convincingly that truth and illusion blur into one. Many believers have begun to question whether AI could become the image of the beast described in Revelation, a global system capable of speaking, deceiving, and commanding obedience through digital means. As technology grows, AI already shapes our decisions, monitors our behavior, and influences belief. In the hands of those seeking control, it could indeed become a tool of worship, deception, or both. At the same time, AI can also illuminate truth. It can decode ancient languages, scan sacred sites without damage, and even reconstruct lost manuscripts. It may one day map the exact location of the ark beneath Jerusalem, combining satellite data, muon imaging, and predictive modeling. But if such technology finally reveals a chamber or sacred object, the world will face a dilemma. How can we know what is real? Could artificial intelligence produce convincing forgeries or even digital recreations of divine artifacts? In an age when anything can be fabricated, even proof of God's covenant could be imitated. Wyatt often said that the ark's true power was not in its gold or its mystery, but in what it represented, God's law, unbroken and eternal. He believed its unveiling would not depend on human discovery, but on divine timing. Even if AI scans every inch of the earth, it will not uncover the ark until heaven allows it. When that moment comes, it will not be the machines that reveal it, but prophecy itself. The ark's message is timeless. Faith is tested not by what we see, but by what we choose to believe. Technology may bring us closer to the truth, or it may tempt us with perfect illusions. In the end, it is not the scanners or algorithms that decide the future. It is the human heart. What do you think? Will AI truly uncover the Ark of the Covenant, or are some mysteries meant to stay hidden forever? Share your thoughts and theories in the comments below. Let's see what you believe.